Hello again. Welcome back to NASCAR, everybody. It's Friday, and you know what that means. It is NASCAR Friday around these parts. This is our NASCAR show. It's the, what are we? Cash and Flash? Cash Dash?
Draft for
cash.
Yeah.
That's what we are. That's what we are, unofficially known as Left Turn Mania. It's the Brady Bunch. Back at you, everybody. I'm your host, Scott Steen. I'm the lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. To my immediate right on your radio dial is the one and only Chris King. Right below him is the pride of Philly. It's Rye Cape. Rye just had a birthday yesterday, so we're pretty psyched to hear all about that. And in the bottom left, last and certainly not least, he's we have a little controversy this week on this show, and we'll get to that in a minute. But it's Scott Reichel. What's up, Scott?
Doing pretty well. I mean, I feel like it's only fair to let the people in the comment section decide, but we might have to eventually, I'd say, update some of the scorings or some of the money counter, whatever the hell we're doing. But I had a good week last week, kinda. It depends on what scoring system you use, but I picked the right winner at some point during last week's podcast.
Okay.
Last week's show, I should say.
All right, very good. So this is our 18th NASCAR show. And for the previous 18 weeks, or previous 17 weeks prior to last week, each of us gave out 3 picks. At first, it was me, Chris, and Scott. We'd give out a favorite, a mid-range, and a long shot. Rye joined the show. Format stayed the same. Favorite, mid-tier, long shot. Last week, Scott gave out a favorite, a mid-tier, and a long shot, and said there's also another driver I like, and that is Reddick. Reddick won the race. Scott wants to be credited with his Reddick pick for points and for money.
Not for points,
and
just for money.
And we have said no, because it wasn't one of your original 3 picks.
Yeah, and for the record, for the points, I understand. I think for the money, since I mentioned it, it should be factored in.
Okay.
So I'm not asking for points. I'm
there you
asking
go.
just for money.
So JC says,
You're already plus anyway, so why should you get more money for an honorable mention?
Because I'd rather be up $5,000 on the season instead of $2,200. Like, I don't understand that argument.
Okay.
Well, the argument was that, if you wanted to be up 5,000, you should have said, well, my pick is Reddick.
We're going to let the people decide. But if you watch last week's show, I did say, like, the bonus pick. I said pick, keyword there. Reddick.
Keyword bonus.
Keyword bonus. Yes, you've missed it by one
the
word.
The original 3 was based on your scoring system. But for actual bets, I think it's ridiculous if you want to limit the number of legitimate bets you have if you say it on the show.
Okay, we just had this argument for 10 minutes
I know.
prior
So
to the
that's
show.
my argument.
We've had it on via text all week long.
Decide.
No, you will not. We agreed.
Section,
We agreed to a vote.
The ruling has been made.
We agreed to a vote. The ruling has been made. It's
ruling on the field stands.
That's right. After further review.
Red flag.
Hey, how was your birthday, Rye? Did you have a good time?
It was wonderful. Yeah, I enjoyed myself.
You still hammered?
Few drinks, partied it up, and then went and saw the new Thor movie.
Did you get?
What was your drink of choice for your birthday?
I drink beer. I like craft brews.
Okay.
There you go. They got some good ones there in Philly, I know. Did you
have like 18 of them, man?
I didn't go that hardcore. I may have if I didn't have to work the next day.
Very good. You didn't. So you didn't get hammered at the Thor movie?
I did not get hammered at the Thor movie.
That's right.
Play the drum roll.
Thanks, folks. I'll be. There it is. Thank you. I'll be here all week, everybody. Tip your waitresses and enjoy the buffet. JC Stone. Oh, now he's into dangerous fucking territory here. Says my scoring system sucks.
He's banned.
Just saying. Okay. Well, you come up with another one then. Fine. Everybody bitches about my scoring system. Nobody has presented an alternative. And I think
the alternatives we didn't need a scoring system.
I think it's a pretty good scoring system because the 3 of us that have been doing the show, we're separated by 27 points over the entire course of the season. I think it's
but it's a gambling show, so money's the main differentiator. But
well, all right, let's talk about that. So last week, as far as the points, the stupid points go, Rye led the pack once again. Don't look now, but I think Rye is gaining on us, fellas.
As Boston would say, don't look back.
Chris had a fine week as well, going 89 points. I had 79, and Mr. I really picked the winner, but not really, had 60 points. As far as the money goes, Rye broke even. I lost 300. Is that right, Rye? Or am I transposing you and me? No, you hit
It's your sheet. I don't know.
You hit the 3-1. That's right. Yeah. Because you had I had Elliott. All right, so I broke even. Right. Okay, there you go. The big news is Scott lost 415. I wanted to mention that.
Allegedly. Lost 415 while giving out a 25-1 shot. So,
Ironic, isn't it? And Chris had the great week. He was up 480 as he hit 2 of his 3 picks. He hit with Blaney. He hit with Suarez.
Yeah, Suarez and
finishing
McDowell.
Where
fifth.
did he finish?
Fifth, Suarez.
5th, okay.
And Sudden Sam McDowell finishing 8th. That picked up 300-1 on a top 10 finish, and he picked up plus 180 on Suarez, and won his matchup as Chastain took care of business against Kyle Busch. So there you go. So that puts the money standings. If you were to let's see, Rise is still down 172 a week, but coming up, I'm still up a half a unit a week. If you ground it out with me, every pick, every week, you'd be up half a unit a week. You'd be up 35 or 3.5 units. Sorry. And Reichel, because he had a terrible week and lost 450, he's down to still 1.4 units up per week. And Chris, he's coming on. It's now, you would have lost less than a unit per week betting on Chris. He's down to 0.89 units. And I will say, Chris has really had the impressive run here because he's done that and gotten close without having that big win that Scott and I both had. Scott had 2 of them. I had 1 when Scott got in on Chastain before everybody else figured him out.
2.5.
And so
yeah, my win was on Chase Elliott. He was only like 9-1.
Right. So there you go.
Over.
All right. So we're still looking for that big payday.
Wait, so what you said that I was up for units per week?
1.5, 1.49.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 1.42.
If you're scoring with my system, it's probably like 3.5 or 4 units, but yeah, we can stick with it.
I've got some scoring systems that if you followed too, I'd be way up. So,
I mean, you could probably honestly, you could just mess with the scoring system and nobody would notice.
Oh, Chris checks me like a fucking eagle.
Really?
Every week.
That's why I noticed that if you go back and look at like week 2 or whatever.
I could look up and Steen gets like 160 points from the NASCAR. I'm like, all right, that sounds right. Like, whatever.
So Chris has an assignment. Then Chris is going to go back through every one and see where I made mistakes and correct them. So enjoy your weekend, buddy.
Which means I'll end up with I'll be leading it by the time the weekend's over because of all the points that weren't handed out.
It's not about who votes; it's about who counts the votes, brother. Haven't you ever heard that?
Yeah, and apparently I'm gonna be the one counting the votes.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
All right, so let's get rolling.
I now have 17,000 points, and you have 6.
For God's sakes, we're going back to a track that we've seen before. This is what a delight as we head to Hot Atlanta this weekend to take the Quaker State 400, which is usually there at Pocono, right, Rye?
Is it Pocono?
No, it's Atlanta. But don't they usually run the Quaker State at Pocono there with the Pennsylvania Latrobe and all that shit?
No, this is always Atlanta.
Oh, is it always the Quaker State's always been Atlanta?
Yep.
All right. Well, that's what
Pocono's coming up in a couple of weeks. Though.
That's what I get for day drinking. So this is
the M&M's Fan Appreciation 400 at Pocono.
Terrific. Terrell, another.
I didn't know M&M needed fan appreciation.
I didn't either, but I
isn't the appreciation you buy the damn snack? I thought that's the appreciation.
Can I say?
I guess maybe they want you to appreciate that they have a variety of choices now.
Yeah, you could buy them.
Can I say I'm a stan of M&Ms? Is that okay?
You can say that.
What's your favorite M&M, Chris?
I like almond myself.
Rye?
Oh man, I like peanut.
Scott?
I like Without Me, a classic M&M song.
I'm a big peanut guy too, as well. Watching from Doha.
Nice.
Where the hell is that?
It's in a different country.
Qatar.
That shows you my geographical ability.
Camp Doha's in Qatar.
Okay. Oh, very good. There you go. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Mark, it is great to have you, man. Congratulations. It's great to have you aboard. Hopefully you get to watch the race as well. Hopefully we can give you some insight on how that's going to go. So let's kick it off. We'll head to Atlanta. Start with our favorites. And let's see. Rye was the leader last week. Rye, you, as Alan Cullen used to say, you get to pass or play, sir. You're going to go first. You're going to pass it off to me.
Yeah, I'll start it out.
All righty.
So this week I like Ryan Blaney. I found him the best price at plus 1100. That was on Barstool. So Blaney is the second among active drivers with 13 place average finish. In his 8 starts at Atlanta, he has 1 win. That was on the old layout, but he finished 4th in March, and on the new went in the new layout, and he had a chance to win because he was leading after 36 laps. He's one of the best drivers on super sport speedways, and I think he's going to be a contender here. In the race, Blaney won stage 2, led 15 laps, and had the second best average running position at 8.1. He did only finish 17th, but he had a run in at the end with Bubba Wallace spinning out, and that
Classic
brought him
Bubba.
back a little bit. Yeah, I'm looking at Daytona, and he did well at Daytona also, but he got caught up in the big one. So I'm expecting him to stay clean this time. He needs to win, and I think he's going to race for the win.
All right, very good.
Yeah, which sucks because last week you said that he was racing for points. So it seems like every time I pick Blaney, he ends up
he did race
behind.
for points last week, but Cindric raced for points. I thought he was going to race for the win.
Yeah.
All right, 1100 for Blaney. Well, Rye, I can tell you, it wouldn't have mattered which one of us would have gone first because the first pick would have been Blaney. I've got the same exact thing. For me, there was just really one pick that stood out, a guy that just seems to dominate at this track. I'm with Rye. I got Blaney at 1100. Scott, what do you got?
I got Chastain at 12-1 on BetMGM. Finished second in the first race at Atlanta this season. If you want to go through some other speedways, finished 3rd in Vegas, 7th in Kansas. He also led 153 laps in Charlotte, so he has been pretty solid on the speedways, and he also has finished top 8 in each of the last 4 overall races. Chastain's basically just been a machine the entire season, and you could always expect to see his name at some part in the top 10. And on the speedways, he's been great. And I do think after getting the silver medal at Atlanta the first time around, he'll go for the gold. I know he's already basically clinched a spot in the chase, but I do think that he's been running very well in the speedways, and I like the price at 12-1.
All right, very good. Christopher, that leaves you.
I'm going to go off the grid here, and I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin. You know, he won here in 2021. Then he finished, or I'm sorry, he won in 2012. He finished 4th in 2021. He was 5th in 2020. He struggled in the first race because he got wiped out. I don't remember who it was that took him out in a crash. But, you know.
Was that Burton?
It might have been. He's gone off at 12-1. I think, you know, Hamlin, he's been better of late for the most part. I'll take a shot on him because God knows I don't want to take another friggin' Bush pick. And all the other guys that have had a lot of success here aren't in the top tier of the odds.
I do want to ask though, since you mentioned the previous year's success on this track, how much stock can you actually put in those when they completely change the configuration of the track?
I think you're still going to have experience with driving in Atlanta. I mean, change the configuration or not, you know. I mean, we've seen them change configuration. What they changed it, was it?
They resurfaced it too, didn't they, Rye?
Yeah, the banking's higher. But the difference between this and like a Daytona and Talladega is this is a lot more narrow compared to those tracks. So I feel like we saw a lot of drafting in the last race. I don't know that we'll see that so much. There will be drafting, but not as much as we saw last race.
Well, because it's shorter. It's 1.5 miles versus 2.5
right.
or 2.5 plus with Talladega, right?
Well, last time we raced it raced more like a super speedway. I think this time it's going to be closer to a 1.5 mile track,
like a Kansas or a Chicago, something like that.
Right.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah. They used to run hella speeds there back in the old configuration before they resurfaced. They used to they not quite super speedway but a lot faster than they would run on the cookie cutters for sure. All right, very good. You got Hamlin. What was you say the number was on that, Chris?
12-1.
12-1. All right, that's what I had down. I just want to make sure. All right, this is going to be our mid-range picks. Quick reminder, these are the guys that we'd love to see win, but we certainly wouldn't be surprised at all to see them in the top 5. And I'm going to go with one of the old guys here. And there's somebody touched, I think Chris touched on it. There's a lot of guys that have had success here that are not in the upper tier of the racers, or certainly the young racers right now. One of those guys is Martin Truax Jr. He has run here very well lately. 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s. He hasn't busted through for the win yet, but he's done a nice job. Led 74 laps in those 5 races. Scott said he was dead a couple of weeks ago. I think he lives. I think he sits up like the Undertaker and maybe sneaks in for that checkered flag. I'll take Martin Truex at 22-1.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
I was waiting for somebody to chime in with a better number if they had it. Scott, who you got?
I'm going to go with another old guy as well, who's been running well this season, and he's been very good in Atlanta in the past. I know that the track, has changed a bit, but of course the Atlanta summers can be a little bit difficult inside the car. So I do think that actually handling the temperatures could translate well in this spot. I'm going with Kurt Busch at 25-1 on Fox Bet. He's finished top 8 in 7 of his last 8 races here. And with the new configuration, he did well. He finished 3rd in the first Atlanta race this season. He also won at Kansas, so he has been doing well on these type of tracks. He's finished top 3 in 2 of his last 4 overall races. So he's been racing well recently. He's been very good on these type of tracks, including Atlanta. And you can find him to finish top 5 at plus 350 on DraftKings.
Okay, and what did you say, 22?
He was 25-1
25
on Fox Bet.
And plus 350?
Yeah, on DraftKings to finish top 5.
Okay, very good. And I did not give a price on Truex to finish.
I thought you said it was 22.
No, that's to win. Top 5's plus 300 on Truex.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, very good. Chris?
Okay, first I'm just going to verify now. On the original list that you sent out yesterday, the cutoff was Truex, correct?
I don't know. What did it say? Did it say Truex?
Wait, let me double check here.
I looked at the
you said Byron and Truex.
Byron.
Now my pick was in that line, but now his odds are longer.
That's all right.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to verify before, so we don't have
the groups.
We're not gonna shoot you. You're fine.
The groups are frozen regardless of what the movement is. So
okay. I just wanted to verify, so I know. I'm going to go with Harvick.
Okay.
He's finished in the top. He's won here 3 times. He's finished in the top 5 in 9 races. From 2015 through 2021, he didn't finish worse than 10th. He struggled in the first race, had a couple of bad pits, but his odds have shifted now to 30-1. So at the point where when you set out the thing, he was at 22.
All right,
we'll give you 30. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'll take a shot there. He's plus 400 to finish in the top 5.
Yeah, always the best number during the show was what we go with. All right, very good. And wrapping up the mid range for the racers, Rye, who you got?
I'm on Kurt Busch as well.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, this is his history on Atlanta speaks for itself. He's led 952 laps at Atlanta. He won last year. He was a top Toyota here in March. He hasn't been running well lately, but he's having fun this season. He stays in the race, and I think he'll be up there in the end.
All right, very good. Got you down for Kurt Busch, just like Reichel at 25-1 and plus 350 on a top 5 finish. All right, moving on to the long shots. This is going to be where are we at here? About Reichel's turn, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yep, there you go. Kick us off, buddy.
So I'm going to go with a guy who's been kind of flying under the radar recently, but he's been good on this track in the past. It's going to be Alex Bowman, and I'm going to take him at 30-1 on Fox Bet. He's finished top 10 in each of his last 3 races here, finished 10th in the first Atlanta race this season. He won at Las Vegas, he finished 9th in Kansas, and he finished 9th at 10th at Charlotte. So he's been consistently in the top 10 in some of these speedways, and he's plus 140 on Barstool to finish top 10. I think he's got a shot. He's been struggling a little bit lately, but I do like him on this overall track from what I've seen at this point in Atlanta and for comparable speedways. Give me Bowman at 30-1.
Solid. Chris?
I'm gonna go with Reki Spinhouse. You know, he likes to run on the bigger tracks, and he likes drafting tracks, of course. And you know, there's a big variation in his numbers. If you look at BetMGM, he's plus 2,500, but at Caesars, they've got him at 45-1.
Sweet.
Um,
Very good.
you know, so I'm going to take a shot there. In Atlanta, you know, he led 22 laps earlier this year before he blew a tire on lap 200. So he led, you know, 11% of the race at that point. At 50 or 45-1, you know, you could do worse.
Can't believe that Stenhouse Jr. couldn't finish the race because of a blown tire. Who would have thought?
He's plus 160 to finish in the top 10.
Plus 160. All right. Reki Spinhouse is Chris's selection. And we'll finish up with Rye. Who you got?
I just want to say that I don't think tires are going to be a problem like they were in the first race. I think the car setups are going to be better. They're probably going to go off what Byron did last race.
I think they learned
But
a lot.
I'm going with the Eric Jones. To win, he's plus 4,000, top 10, plus 165. So Talladega, he led 25 laps, finished sixth. He's solid in the drafting tracks. He won at Daytona in 2018. In Atlanta in the spring, he finished fifth in the first stage, and he was fast at Daytona. He was fast at Talladega.
Okay. Very good. And for the matchups, it's going to be...
Wait, Steve, I forgot. What was your long shot?
Oh, sorry. I didn't... Oh, yeah. I'd already locked this up. I got the same as you. I've got Bowman. I was... When you went right out of the box and said Bowman.
We went around, and I'm like, wait a second. I feel like we're one short. Okay.
That's how I sneak my pick in. And
yeah,
then,
okay.
And then when the show's over, I go, oh, yeah, I had that one pick. That was a long shot that won. So
I had that guy.
I had that one guy. Make a left turn. That's right.
Do you have anything you want to add on Bowman? Or
no, dude. To me, he's the class of this. He was the most reasonable selection as far as our long shots go, and I was happy to get him as a long shot. I really think he should be probably closer to 18 to 20-1. So.
And if you shop around, BetMGM, I believe, had him minus 130 to finish top 10.
Yikes.
I found plus 140, but the point is that if he has a pretty much I'd say equal chance, 50-50 chance of actually getting in the top 10, then you're kind of playing with house money.
Okay, very good. We have people all from all over watching. That's very cool. Watching from, anybody can take a shot at it?
Malakanag?
Sure. All right, with Roy. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna butcher that, but I will say it sounds far away. And shout out.
I was gonna say there's an Enye on there, so Malakanyang.
It's probably just like Mala.
All right, I'm gonna go with. You want to take a guess on a country, on a region?
Well, it's got to be something Spanish related because you have, of course, the Enye on top.
Okay, so that's all of South America, Spain and Portugal.
I was going to say the Philippines, actually.
Oh, okay, not bad.
Okay.
Not
Going
bad.
off the radar.
All right, very good. We're regardless of where it is. Welcome to Mark and Roy. Appreciate you guys watching, and having some fun. Does Scott Jr. have it?
I'm going to go with Brazil.
Okay, very good. Do you have an honorable mention for your
My
driver?
honorable mention would actually be Hamlin.
Okay.
Who was my runner-up there. I thought about Blaney, but he seems to always have some type of car trouble. Same with Hamlin, but Hamlin's been good here in the past. So my honorable mention is going to piggyback off Chris. It would be Hamlin.
See, that just sounds funny the way you said it. He always seems to have some kind of car trouble. Fucking tail lights out or battery's dead. Whatever.
Windshield wiper fluid stops working. There's some problems.
He's got some car trouble.
I do want to ask before we pivot to the matchups, though. Do you think Bubba Wallace is too low? Like, I understand that he's good on speedways.
Right.
He also has a lot of issues avoiding wrecks because half the time he causes them. Do you think he should be this low? Like, what accurate price point do you think Bubba Wallace should be? Because even on speedways, besides the first couple races of the year, has he really done anything on speedways this season?
I don't.
He was running second here last year until he crashed out.
I'm shocked.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not
a fan of his, but
I mean, I like Bubba Wallace. I'm not buying a hype for him this week.
Yeah, it's not as a person. I don't care. I'm just saying as a driver, people keep expecting like, oh, he dominated a couple of circuits before NASCAR. I'm gonna wait for you to actually like win some consistent NASCAR races before I pick you to win at very, very reduced odds. I get his reputation's being good on speedways. I think it's a little bit overblown at this point in time.
They also shook up crew members with Christopher Bell. So they switched a few guys from Bell's crew to Bubba's crew.
So great. Now they're just going to screw over Bill because
Bell's crew wasn't good either. So.
By the way, Nick says he Googled it. It's in the Philippines. So nicely done. Nicely done, Chris. Well played. What is that? I'm going to guess Central Time. I'm going to guess the Philippines is 9 hours ahead.
I would say give or take, yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. So, yeah, that's God bless you, man. If it's like midnight and shit over there, appreciate you guys checking us out. That's absolutely cool. So, now we have our matchups. And, Chris, you are going to kick off our matchups. Who you got?
It's great that Rachel brought up Bubba Wallace because I'm going to fade him in a matchup with Michael McDowell.
All right.
McDowell has had a...
No longer with the Doobie Brothers, apparently.
He's been good, though, McDowell.
He's not singing backup. He's not singing with Toto or anything either, as a throw-in.
All right.
But,
Fade and Bubba.
Like Rye said, he switched up the crew. They've had a lot of pit issues this year. Wallace has struggled in Atlanta. And McDowell's coming in at plus money, at plus 115. So I'll take that over Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
I think if McDowell keeps the car clean, you should win the bet. I'm assuming Bubba Wallace is going to.
I'm on that too.
I'd like to play. I wish they had like a high-low bet where you could bet on a guy to finish like either in the top 5 or the bottom 10 because I think Wallace would be a great candidate for that.
Well, I think
it was really good or he's really going to suck.
Right.
I saw it was DraftKings that has top 20, but they only have the yes. Like I would love a no option.
Yeah.
On top 20s.
Yeah, that'd be a blast. Rye, did you say you had the same
Or
one?
Joy. No.
Rye, what do you got the same one you said?
Yeah, no, I don't have the same one.
Okay,
I actually have that bet on my card.
All right.
Oh, I did bet that.
Oh, is that the is that the fourth pick, Rye?
No.
Is that the bonus pick?
The only person who will know that won is me.
All right, very good. Who you?
I'm on Truax over Reddick at plus 100. I found that on DraftKings. So Truax on super speedways, I average finish this year is number 2 at 8.7. Truax needs a win. I think he's going to be up there battling for a win. And Reddick has a hangover from winning last week. And I like to fade guys who won the prior week, especially Reddick, who it's his first time winning. I'm sure he's on a nice high.
You know why he's hung over? Because Rachel made him his bonus pick.
I was going to say, especially hung over when you transition from a road course to a speedway. So it's not like anything can translate from last week,
Yeah, I'm going to assume that he's going to be racing for playoff points. So maybe he tries to win stage 2 and he just stays out of trouble the rest of the way.
Okay.
I think Reddick's going to crash.
Would you say the number on that was?
It was even money, plus 100.
Gotcha. All right, very good. I'm going to finish it up. No, not finish it up, but I'm going to take Truax over Bell. A lot of the same reasons that Rye talked about with Truax. Christopher Bell, not historically good at this track, just 1 top 10 finishes in his last 5 starts. I don't like to go. I like to change it up here, but I got a really good feeling about Truax this weekend. I think he comes through for me. Give me Truax over Bell minus 105. Rachel?
So I'm going to go back to my middle shot. I'm going to go with Kurt Busch, and I'm going to take him over Austin Dillon at minus 125 on DraftKings. Dillon's finished outside the top 10 in each of the last 5 overall races. In the first Atlanta race, he had car trouble, finished 35th. And Busch, I mentioned before, for the middle shot picks. He's been great in Atlanta in the past. He finished 3rd here earlier this season. I think, assuming Busch can avoid any type of wreck, he should be really fighting for a win or a top 5 spot. And Dillon, based on what I've seen recently, I have not been overly impressed. I could see Dillon finishing around 15th. And I think that Busch should finish top 10.
Which Dillon is it?
Austin.
Matt Dillon.
All right. Very
Bob.
good. Yeah, because I ran into that trap earlier this season when I took the wrong Dillon.
Yeah.
I'm all excited.
JJ Dillon.
And I'm all excited that Dillon finished top 5. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's the wrong Dillon.
Do any
You
of
know
you
JJ
have
Dillon, don't you, Ryan?
For fun, do you have any of you have fourth picks, guys that you didn't actually pick but you think has a shot? We won't count it for anything. Just ask.
I spent that much time looking for a fourth pick.
I don't know how much time you spend on the 3 picks, so you know.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I try to stay away from positional bets on super speedways. I like group bets, head-to-heads. Yeah, there are a lot of DNFs, so you want to make it so you're up against less drivers.
Yeah.
My fourth I mentioned was
head-to-heads.
My fourth I mentioned was Hamlin, but were there any other drivers that you guys were on the fence about?
I don't hate
I like
Cindric.
Okay. Very good. I don't hate Harvick. I know he hasn't run worth a shit this year, and that's what kept him off my top 3. But
he's due. It's a must win.
Well, you know what? I think if he's going to have a good race this season, I think this is a real good opportunity to have it right here. So,
you have any thoughts on Keselowski?
I think Harvick's going to have a big week next week.
Okay. Where do they go next week?
New Hampshire.
Okay. All right.
Eric Amarola is also good up there, so I think they could help each other out. They're both on the cutoff line of the playoffs, so it's getting to the point where people are wondering what they got to do to get in.
I was reading a bunch of stuff for the actual race, and a lot of people, of course, seem to be buying it on Keselowski because of past success and how he's like 30th in points. Where exactly do you draw the line between a must-win guy who's struggling and a guy who just sucks with the new car? Because I think that Keselowski just sucks with the new car.
Yeah.
If you win a race and you're lower than 30th in points, you did not make the playoffs.
Okay. Keselowski's like what, 29th in points, I think?
Yeah, he's 30th right now.
Were any of you tempted by Keselowski at all because of past success, or you just think that he's so bad with the new car that I'm not going to bother? I had no interest at all.
That's what got me. I like him
to wreck people. That's about it.
He's been so cold, especially lately, that I couldn't do it. So
yeah, that was my boat.
Rooting for him. All right, very good.
Are you actually rooting for Keselowski?
What's that?
Are you a Keselowski guy?
I kind of like him. I like the spunky weirdos. You don't get many.
I know Rye hates him, but
I'm not a Keselowski fan.
Oh, you hate?
I used to be a Rusty Wallace fan, and when he got in the number 2 car, I was so mad.
Well, I always felt about Logano that way, driving the 20 Home Depot when he took over for Stewart. Like, that ain't right.
I kind of thought that about Newman with the 6.
For
Mark Martin.
Yep. All right, boys, let's recap real quick. Rye, I'm going to run through your picks one more time.
Yeah, so Blaney to win at plus 1,100. I have Kurt Busch at plus 350 for a top 5. I have Eric Jones at plus 165 for a top 10. And then I have Martin Truex over Tyler Reddick at plus 100.
All right, very solid. I've got Ryan Blaney at plus 1,100. I have Martin Truax Jr. at plus 2,200, plus 300 for top 5. And Bowman at plus 3,000 and plus 140 to finish top 10. My matchup also is riding Martin Truex Jr., and I'm taking him over Christopher Bell at minus 105. Scott?
So I got Chastain at 12-1 to win as my favorite. I have Kurt Busch at 25-1 on Fox Bet as my middle shot, and I have Bowman at 30-1 on Fox Bet as my long shot. To go through the top 5 for Kurt Busch, plus 350. Bowman is plus 140. And then for the matchup, I got Kurt Busch over Austin Dillon at minus 125 on DraftKings.
All right, very good. I'm going to address JC Stone's question. Yes, Chris's Parlay Show will continue on Monday, same regular time. It's going to have Jim Williams for now back in the host chair. And Rachel, you can't bet against Djokovic. Has anything changed from that?
I'm going to probably make a play that a video on that, so okay. I'm going to keep my lips sealed.
All right, there you go.
He might get bullied.
There's a tease right there, JC. Sorry, buddy. Hey, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. We appreciate all the effort. Get subscribed, of course, to Winners and Winers YouTube channel and the Max Wagers Network YouTube channel where you're finding us right now. Chris, bring us on home. What do you got this week?
Yeah, I said I'm going to take Denny Hamlin at 12-1 as my favorite. I'm going to take Harvick, who dropped out of the odds for the middle group, but like you said, that's the way things shift. He's at 30-1, plus 400 finish in the top 5. Long shot, Recky Spinhouse, 45-1, plus 160 finish in the top 10. And I'm going to take Michael McDowell, who's, like Scott said, left the Doobie Brothers to get in a NASCAR run this week, over Bubba Wallace at plus 115.
Yamo be there, and so will Michael McDowell over Bubba Wallace. Very good, Chris. And as I always say, may the best capper win. I'm kidding. All right, kids. That's it. Thanks for joining us. We thought this was going to be the last show. We've been extended. I don't know if we're
Let's go.
I don't know if we're going through the entire season, but if
got picked up for season 2.
we did get picked up for the second half. Yes, that's right. It was a little sketchy there, but some of the executives saw the show and they're like, we can't take this off the air. So congratulations, everybody.
There you go. That's a show.
Watch what you wish for. Watch all those people like, oh man, I can't believe it's going to be the last NASCAR show. Well, it's not. You got it. So we're here. All we do is expect you to watch and share it and like it, and
tell your friends.
You can do it you can get us in podcast form, of course, as well. It's available at all your favorite podcast platforms. If you get it there, don't forget to rate and review. Give us some stars, please. We appreciate it. All right, kids. Good luck to all you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody stopping by, both live and as you watch this as the race gets closer and closer. Good luck to everybody from down there in Atlanta. If you're going to the race, enjoy it. Stay safe. Put some sunscreen on. What's that?
That don't melt, because the weather's supposed to be rather brutal this weekend.
All right, there's a news flash. Middle of July in Atlanta, going to be a little warm. Okay, duly noted.
Just a tad.
Might rain as well.
Where's that? What's that?
A rain during a race.
What's that?
It's supposed to rain.
Oh, you got some.
Bubba Wallace has a shot of winning.
Got some rain coming.
Yeah, right.
Rain shortens.
Well, maybe
Wallace might actually win.
Maybe I'll have something to watch on Monday then. That'd be fun. All right, you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check us out each and every week. You can check out Scott, me, and Chris doing our daily videos. Ryan, where can we catch you?
Yeah, I'm on the Insider's Room. You could also find me on Sunday. I do the NASCAR report.
Everything.
Rye Cape everywhere.
Just look Rye Cape everywhere. Very good. All right, you guys have a great week. Everybody out there in video land, have a great week as well. And we will see you next week as we do the show. We have a little Left Turn Mania. And, of course, it's all about drafting for that cash. You guys take care. We'll see you then.